Hi, I'm Alan Sagano. I'm the president of ADS Consulting Group, and thanks a lot for listening to this brief presentation on Microsoft Teams. So what is Microsoft Teams? Well, basically, it's a replacement for Skype for Business. We'll talk a little bit about the use cases where you might be able to use Teams, the integration with Office 365, or you can actually integrate it with on-premise Exchange. And basically the structure of Teams, which is Teams, channels, presence, chat, the chat feature, calendar, video conferencing, and screen sharing. So all of the features that were in Skype for Business are included in Teams, plus a whole lot more. There has been a change in focus from a kind of more of a, Skype was more of a unified communications tool. And there's definitely more of a focus on Teams being a collaboration tool. It is really extremely useful when employees work from home, and well, with COVID-19, isn't everybody working from home these days? And they're working on relatively complex tasks that have high frequency changes. So in other words, things are just boom, boom, boom. They're changing all the time. People need updates. They need to know what's going on. The other thing Teams is really good for is avoiding people stepping on each other. Like, oh, hey, I'm going to do blah, blah, blah. It's like, no, 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 wait, I already did that task. Like, oh, thank God, before I jumped off the ledge and duplicated our efforts. So some of the use cases, as I mentioned before, when workers are distributed, and everybody today, pretty much everybody's distributed or at least partially distributed on a part-time basis, where you're working on complex projects and tasks that have high frequency changes, you need to collaborate, but it's difficult to predict when and if you need that collaboration, and it might be at a moment's notice. So in other words, kind of like ad hoc meetings, ad hoc collaborations, really good for that. Again, high frequency changes are changes where the project status changes at a very rapid pace. You need to quickly determine the state of the project. So maybe not necessarily, maybe in gory detail, you want to know after the fact how you got to a particular state, but at an exact moment in time, you just need to know, hey, what's going on right now? And then maybe, again, later after the fact, you might want to know how you got there, but it's more important to know where you are at that exact moment in time. And the biggest use case that we've seen is that you can significantly reduce intra-office email messages. So instead of CCing the world, just post it up on a team channel and you're kind of done, which is really nice. So, oh, I didn't get the memo, blah, blah, blah. It's just check Teams. So you can integrate it with Office 365 or on-premise Exchange. If you're running on-premise Exchange, for the best integration experience, you want to be running Exchange 2016, cumulative update 15 or later. So basically, Teams is kind of the highest level of the infrastructure, and you form teams that are assigned to specific channels. And one of the really nice things about this is that if you have high turnover or new team members, or the numbers of the team are changing pretty dynamically, new team members have instant access to a channel's history. So it's a lot easier for a new team member to get up to speed because they can just read, oh, I see how we got there, or why we did this, why we did that. So that's really nice, as opposed to, oh, let me send you these 500 email blasts to everybody so you can try to figure out what the heck happened. Like, yeah, that's not a lot of fun. So you can even also have team members that are outside of your organization by typing in their email address and adding them to a specific team. So once you've created your team, then you create channels that your team will view. As a general rule, we recommend that you try to minimize the number of channels to avoid team members missing vital information or posting information in the wrong channel. And there's always, by default, there's always a general channel that is automatically created when a team is formed, and you can't rename that channel, which is weird. I know it's been something people have been screaming for, but as of this recording of this presentation, you can't change that. You can't rename the general channel, but it'll probably come. One of the really nice things about Teams is it shows you presence. So especially if you're working not in the office, you're working remotely, it's kind of difficult to tell, who might be available at an exact moment in time. So you get each member, you get a little circle next to their name, and it tells you whether they're available, which is a green circle, whether they're busy, which is a red circle, away, which is a yellow circle, or offline, which is a white circle. So, if you just want to ask somebody a question, and there might be 5 people on the team that might be able to answer it, you could really quickly figure out who is available, so you can ping that person. That becomes really, really nice. Basically, what it does to determine your presence is it also looks at your Exchange calendar, Outlook calendar, and figures out if you're in a meeting or not, and it will show you as busy. You can override that, so you can make yourself available when you are busy, or busy when you're available, or do not disturb, by manually going into Teams and setting your status. But this feature here is pretty nice. So also you can IM or instant message somebody after you determine if they're available. Really useful for very quick questions when you need a quick response. And this is really nice. The chat conversations are retained for future reference. It's like, oh, what did Dave or Jane say about that thing we were talking about? You can just go back into the portal and look and go, oh yeah, that's right, that they said blah, blah, blah. Again, you can add new people to the chat on the fly. So if you need to pull in somebody, or somebody becomes available and you want to get them up to speed really quickly, you can just roll them into an existing IM message thread. You can also video, voice, or even screen share directly from the chat interface, which is also something really nice. It's like, so if you're IMing somebody and it's like, oh, what are we going to do about this feature here? And you're like, well, I don't know what you're talking about. It's like, oh, okay, let's just do a screen share and I'll show you. Again, a picture is worth 1,000 words, right? Calendar. So it also, as I mentioned before, it integrates with Outlook's calendar to determine your presence. You can use, when you're scheduling a new meeting, you can use the scheduling assistant, which looks at the attendees or potential attendees schedule and tries to figure out the first available slot. And as we know, especially with everybody working remotely, sometimes scheduling meetings is like herding cats. So it makes the cat herding process a little bit simpler, which is really nice. Also has full-blown video conferencing. So similar to, like a WebEx or Zoom or GoToMeeting. So you can do screen share, you can do video, you can do voice via computer. However, if you need a dial-in number, that is an extra cost. So you can't, unless you pay for that feature, you're not going to be able to dial into a conference. You can only join with your computer, or basically not with a regular phone number. Okay, so screen sharing. Screen sharing has the ability to grant control of your screen, grant control to your screen. One of the really cool features is the mouse pointers icons have basically a little picture of the person's head. So if this was you can see my mouse moving around here, but it literally has a little picture of my face moving around. So if you have 2 people controlling the screen at the same time, you'll see both users' mouse icons with little pictures of their head, so you can kind of figure out whose mouse icon belongs to who. And it's kind of funny when you first see it, but it's actually a very useful feature and makes it easier when you're collaborating on a project. It's like, I'm looking at it right here. It's like, whose mouse is that? Well, you can tell really easily when you're screen sharing with Teams. So for more information about how your company might be able to leverage Teams, you can contact Alan Sugano at ADS Consulting Group. My phone number is 310-541-8584, extension 100. Or you can shoot us an email at info@adscon.com. Thanks a lot for listening, and we hope to hear from you soon about how you can benefit from Teams.